Finally, some bad news to go over for Elon Musk. And this comes on two fronts, I should say. First, what you're seeing on screen is the former Deputy Prime Minister of Canada and a candidate for PM, Krishna Freeland in Canada, discussing what it is that Canada will do to hit Trump close to home by hitting Elon Musk close to home in a retaliatory effort in response to Trump's tariffs. Then we'll also look at some trouble in Tesla paradise separate from this story. Pretty interesting. If you appreciate this show and you're not yet subscribed, please do. Here is Aaron Burnett on CNN interviewing Krishna Freeland.
Our retaliation is going to be a lot more surgical than that. We are going to go after American stakeholders who matter to the White House. I have proposed a 100% tariff on all Teslas. I am calling on all the countries that are affected by this tariff to join us. And our retaliation will target specific Trump constituencies. Another group that we're going to go after is Wisconsin dairy farmers. We know how important they are for the president, and we're not going to let them sell their products in Canada anymore. But I also want to say to you, Aaron, we don't have to do this. Yeah. We have a balanced, mutually beneficial relationship with the United States. We think the best path is to continue with that relationship. We will design our retaliation to target the people who we think are the most influential, the people who, if they are feeling pain from our retaliation, will say to the president, let's not do this anymore. That's the outcome that we want. And by the way, we think that's going to be the best outcome for the...
So they're putting 100% tariff on, at least she's proposing, Teslas. Obviously trying to go after Elon there. It's heartbreaking, but I get the logic that they would target red state areas that they think are Trump constituencies that would make the most noise, that Trump would care about. And that, again, Trump's actions are over and over again hurting the people who support him the most disproportionately. Then this comes as Tesla doesn't need more bad news. The Independent reports that Tesla sales plunging worldwide amid Musk's new role in Trump White House. Elon Musk's post-election honeymoon at Tesla appears to be over. In the weeks after Musk went all in on Donald Trump and came out on the winning side, the billionaire's net worth jumped because of the Tesla stock soaring, but now the EV maker struggling with declining global sales, tariff fears, and potential backlash to its CEO's political views. And what's interesting is that separate from the Canadian response, Trump's tariffs will actually end up hurting Tesla, the company, because they're also relying on some of these supply chains that would be impacted. Let's see if I can jump forward to that. The sales combined with the Trump White House tariff threats around the world has some investors arguing Musk and Tesla are experiencing a Trump lash. There's an argument to be made that Tesla is beginning to be penalized for Musk's close relationship to Trump. You have Michael Rourke, chief market strategist at Jones Trading, wrote in Bloomberg, over the years, we've tried to localize our supply chain in every market, but we're still relying on parts from across the world for our business. Imposition of tariffs would have an impact on our business and profitability, which would be exacerbating struggles they're already going through, which are more complicated. There are more EV investments across more companies now, so it's less dominated by Tesla because there's more competition. So that's going to contribute to these decreases in their sales numbers. But you do have to consider that Elon Musk openly, publicly, aggressively alienates a block of folks who are probably the ones more likely to buy Teslas. Right now, EVs are probably being purchased more so by liberal-minded people because those are the people more concerned with environmental impact, even though on a really personal, selfish level, you can benefit from EVs in other ways. But that's a big part of what promoted Tesla's success. And so then he comes out and he's talking about how evil liberals are, and he becomes an emblem for Trumpism. So I have people in my life who had a Tesla, and then as they're moving to buy another one, are going to they're going to stay with EVs, but not Tesla. And then people who were considering Teslas at one point and decided not to. because of Elon Musk only. And so he's shooting his own company, at least in this way, in the foot by both helping to get Trump elected, who's imposing tariffs, who's hurting the company, and becoming a brand problem for the company amid an environment that you don't want more struggles, because they're already going to have to be competing more as more companies jump into the EV space. It's not just Tesla, though, struggling with the impact of Trump's terrible policies. Axios reports Ford CEO is saying that Trump is creating costs and chaos for automakers. President Trump's early tariff moves have one thing in common: no matter the target, they all threaten to blow a hole in the auto industry. Trump acts like he's doing this for the auto industry, but in reality, it's actually posing a massive threat to it. Whether the tariffs are national or material, the industry fears the same effect. Millions of cars a year coming in from Asia and Europe with a sudden cost advantage. Thus far, no matter what Trump does with trade, it seems to hurt the auto industry more often than anyone else. And listen to this: tariffs on Mexico and Canada. Most U.S. automakers sell cars with parts that cross those borders. We've talked about this before. A half a dozen times. You have parts going back and forth and being assembled, and then sent this way, and then this part, and then this part. And that means as they go back and forth, they're accumulating more and more costs because of the tariffs, and then the retaliatory tariffs moving a little bit too fast. And this creates an untenable situation that's going to hurt these companies and their workers. And then even if he backs off of the Mexico-Canada specific 25% on all of their imports tariff approach, which right now is on hold, but what has already been imposed is across the board on imports that relate to steel and aluminum. If those stay, then it's literally what the cars are made of, Axios notes. So far, what we're seeing is a lot of costs and a lot of chaos, Farley said at a Wolf Research conference on Tuesday. Let's be real honest. Long term, a 25% tariff across the Mexico and Canadian border will blow a hole in the U.S. industry that we have never seen. That we've never seen. The auto workers love me. I'm so good. They call them cars. I'm so good from the standpoint of cars. I know cars better than anyone. Not so much. Speaking of Elon Musk, here is a reporter asking Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, a very relevant question, which is, are y'all abiding by the laws with Elon Musk? Because it doesn't seem like it. We've talked about the broader shutting down of agencies illegally, but even on a smaller level, with ethics, with transparency, with conflicts of interest, disclosure, it's not happening.
There is a conflict of interest law in place that says that people who have personal interests can't interact with government entities that could touch on those. Has President Trump signed a waiver for Elon Musk? Does such a thing exist? If it does, will you guys release it in the interest of transparency that he's committed to?
I have not seen the law that you are referring to. What I can tell you is that Elon Musk, as I've confirmed before, is a special government employee. He is filing the proper financial disclosure, and he is complying with all applicable federal laws.
By the way, this face right here, this is all of America right now. What? Caroline? I love how she goes, I'm not familiar with the law that you're referring to, but he's following it.
He is complying with all applicable federal laws. As you also heard Elon address this directly yesterday in the alleged conflict of interest, and he said everything he's doing is very public, and if you all perceive a conflict of interest, you're welcome to bring that up. And as the president said, if he feels like Elon is engaging in something that's a conflict of interest, he will tell Elon not to do that. And Elon also said yesterday that before he moves forward with anything, he consults with the president of the United States. So we're very confident with the ethics and the guardrails that have been put in place here.
Yeah, they love to say that. Their points in defense of breaking the law or not abiding by transparency norms are over and over again. Well, he posts on his X account about what he's doing. He's so transparent. Or, well, Trump, trust me, Trump's asking, or Elon's asking for Trump's permission on every act that happens. Now, because when Trump gets asked about stuff like the big controversy of one of the Doge employees, all this racist stuff came out, then Elon's like, I want to bring him back. And JD Vance's like, yes, bring him back. And Trump gets asked, he goes, I don't know what you're talking about. He's not keeping up with the ins and outs of Doge. We know that. Elon's making a lot of calls, and then Trump sort of has to go, of course I signed off on and approved of all of those things. And just because he posts a lot doesn't mean he's being transparent, because a lot of his posts are filled with lies, which is the opposite of honest transparency. It's actually worse. I'd rather you say nothing than push out a bunch of lies. And then we keep hearing this idea that the White House is comfortable, as you heard Caroline Leavitt say, with how Elon Musk is operating. No, we know you are. We're not. We're the ones asking the question. We don't like that Elon Musk and his little team of barely out of high schoolers has all this access to all these sensitive things, and they're making all these decisions, and they don't seem to have the clearance. They don't seem to have gone through the process to get the clearance to do all these things. They don't seem to have the training. They don't seem to have the experience. And we're not being informed on their potential conflicts of interest. And they're not abiding by the ethics rules that ordinarily employees would. So just because you call them a special government employee doesn't mean you're not obligated to the rules, to the laws that give the American people some transparency. Share your thoughts in the comments, support the show, get the members only bonus show by clicking that join button below.